A game of cards ended in madness and death.
A poison so deadly, it doesn't kill the body first, it destroys the mind.
Holmes risked his own life to uncover a nightmare no one believed.
It was during a time when Sherlock Holmes had become extremely exhausted from years of intense detective work. On the advice of Dr. Watson, he decided to take a quiet rest in a small coastal village in Cornwall, England. The peaceful sea, cliffs, and fresh air were supposed to restore his health. For a few days, everything was calm. But soon, something strange happened in the village. One morning, Watson heard alarming news. A young woman named Brenda Tregennis had been found dead inside her home. Even more shocking, her two brothers were still alive, but had gone completely insane. Their faces were frozen in horror, and they could only laugh and scream uncontrollably. The villagers whispered about something evil or supernatural. Holmes immediately became interested. Holmes and Watson visited the house where the tragedy occurred. The police explained what had happened. The three siblings had been sitting together playing cards the previous evening. A visitor named Mortimer Tregennis, their brother, had left them around nightfall. When servants entered the house the next morning, they discovered a horrifying scene. Brenda was dead. Her brothers sat staring wildly, laughing in madness. The room looked untouched. No sign of violence, no poison found, and the windows and doors had remained closed. Holmes carefully examined the room. He noticed something unusual. The lamp had been burning all night. The air in the room seemed heavy, and Holmes suspected something in the atmosphere had caused the tragedy. But what? Mortimer Tregennis, the man who had last seen the victims alive, explained his story to Holmes. He said that the evening had been normal. They played cards, talked, and laughed. Nothing seemed wrong. He left them around 10 o'clock and went back to the house where he was staying with a local clergyman. When he returned the next morning, he saw the horror inside. However, Holmes noticed something strange about Mortimer. His behavior seemed nervous. He appeared more frightened than grieving. Holmes quietly kept this observation in mind. The next day, a shocking event occurred. Mortimer Tregennis himself was found dead, and just like Brenda, his face showed pure terror. Now Holmes became certain that a mysterious and deadly force was involved. But this time, Holmes noticed something important. Inside the room, there was a strange brown powder near the lamp. This was the first real clue. Holmes suspected that the powder might be responsible for the madness and death. He asked Watson to help him conduct an experiment. They recreated the exact situation inside the room. Holmes placed the powder into the lamp flame. Almost immediately, a strange vapor filled the air. Within seconds, Watson felt overwhelming fear, as if something terrible was surrounding them. His mind began to lose control. Holmes also started feeling the same effect. Realizing the danger, Watson rushed to the window and opened it, saving both of them from certain death. Holmes now understood the truth. The powder was a rare poison brought from Africa. When burned, it released a gas that caused extreme terror, madness, and death. This deadly substance was called the devil's foot root. Holmes then revealed the full solution. Mortimer Tregennis had originally used the poison to kill his own siblings so he could inherit their property. He placed the powder in the lamp before he left the house that night, but someone had discovered his crime. That person was Dr. Leon Sterndale, a famous explorer who had deep connections with the Tregennis family. Holmes soon confronted him. At first, Sterndale denied everything, but Holmes explained the entire truth calmly. Finally, Sterndale confessed. He admitted that he loved Brenda Tregennis deeply. When he discovered that Mortimer had murdered her using the devil's foot poison, he decided to take revenge. He visited Mortimer secretly and forced him to experience the same deadly poison. Mortimer died in terror, just as Brenda had. Now Holmes faced a difficult choice. Technically, Sterndale had committed murder, but Holmes understood the situation. The man had acted out of grief and justice for the woman he loved. Instead of handing him over to the police, Holmes allowed Sterndale to leave England and return to Africa. Watson was surprised by this decision, but Holmes simply said, "Sometimes the law and justice are not exactly the same." After solving the case, Holmes and Watson continued their quiet stay in Cornwall. The mystery of the Devil's Foot had been solved, but even Holmes admitted that this case was one of the most terrifying he had ever encountered, because it showed how fear itself could become a deadly weapon.